5:30. A movie shot here in the Bay Area opens today. Hear from the filmmaker and learn about the storyline. A new movie is opening tonight, and there are no big stars in it, but there are local ties and a controversial theme.
It's called The Prophet, and it appears to some as an expose of the Church of Scientology. It premieres tonight in Clearwater, Scientology's home. And 10 News reporter Mike Deason is live at the Cinema Grill. And Mike, is this going to be a good one tonight?
Well, we'll have to see what the critics say about this one, Reg. It's the brainchild of a former vice president at Universal Studios, Peter Alexander, and it was shot here in Tampa Bay. About half the actors in The Prophet are from Tampa Bay, and has a not too subtle message that Alexander considers Scientology an evil cult, and he wants the world to know.
You sure this isn't some kind of a hoax, Jack?
A hoax is exactly what writer-director Peter Alexander says he's trying to expose in The Prophet.
Oh, yeah.
Alexander wrote the film after leaving the Church of Scientology after 20 years.
And when I got out of the cult and, basically found out what the story was, I thought, well, A, this is a really interesting story, and B, I wonder if it might help somebody else out if they could, get some insight into what it is that makes people join cults.
You are going to meet the first person in the world to attain this state of perfection.
Miss Barbara Lewis. The film features a main character similar to Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard in a Church of Scientific Spiritualism.
It has parallels in different cults. Scientologists don't seem to like the film too much. That's all I'll say.
And that is definitely an understatement to say that the Scientologists don't like the film. The church with its national headquarters here in downtown Clearwater says it is a terrible film that has had terrible reviews, and the producer says it has nothing to do with the Church of Scientology. They say they agree. But Alexander says the church is interested in punishing him for leaving the organization and making this film.
Oh, they'll hassle me for the rest of my life, no doubt about it. But, you see something that's happening that's not right, you got to stand up.
Conrad Powers is a con man. He's a great man. You're a traitor.
Alexander, who says he's donated more than $1 million to Scientology, is also being called a traitor. He's paid heavily. His 20-year-old son wrote him what's called a disconnect letter.
Well, I want to tell you, that was one of the toughest things I ever did, was get the disconnect letter from my son when he said, I think you're the best dad in the world, I'll always love you, but I can never talk to you again because you don't like Scientology.
Cults get no cheers from Alexander, who says the secrets of cults need to be revealed.
The cult has to have total control over the people. And, anyone who catches on to it is an enemy. So, we need to tell that story.
And he'll be telling that story through The Prophet. Now, Alexander says when he was making the film, 7 private investigators followed him around. He says Scientologists protested and tried to disrupt the film. And there is some concern that there might be a problem here at the Cinema Cafe tonight. Scientologists say they have absolutely no interest in the film at all and will...
Locally produced movie premieres tonight in Clearwater, and it's in a tiny Suds and Cinema setting. The Prophet is a fictional account of a man who starts his own religion, and the movie maker is a former Scientologist. Fox 13's Steve Nichols shows us.
The Cinema Cafe at Sunset Point Road in US 19 proudly presents the world premiere of The Prophet.
Scientific spiritualism, immortality.
It is the story of L. Conrad Powers, founder of the Church of Scientific Spirituality, oddly similar to the real world's Church of Scientology, founded by L. Ron Hubbard, probably because movie director Peter Alexander used to be a Scientologist.
Well, I was in a cult for 20 years.
Now Alexander has clearly parted ways with the Church of Scientology, but he claims his movie really stars a composite character based on several alleged cult leaders.
I created a fictional story because I thought I could better tell the truth about cults with a fictional character than I could by doing a documentary.
You will go forth and spread the word about Psi Spirit.
Free lecture tonight on scientific spiritualism. It's hot.
Alexander also thinks young people will get more out of what he calls sort of a dark comedy. And Alexander does know something about entertaining young audiences. Back to the Future is one of the rides he created for Universal Studios, along with Jaws and E.T. and the King Kong ride. But The Prophet is his first movie. And in a written response to our inquiry, the Church of Scientology says it is a terrible movie which has received terrible reviews. The producers say it has nothing to do with us. We agree. We are not interested. The movie producers question any opinion about a movie which very few people have even seen, until the Cinema Café signed on.
Basically, being that it was something that was shot locally and it was kind of an edgy, controversial film, we were very interested.
Of course, the world premiere is here at the Cinema Café because right now this is the only place in the world where The Prophet is showing. The theater owner says he'll keep showing it as long as people keep coming. The movie makers hope someday it also plays somewhere else on the planet.
Tonight, dozens of people came out to see the premiere of the new movie, The Prophet.
This film was written and directed by former Scientologist Peter Alexander. In the movie, Scientology isn't even mentioned. The plot revolves around a religion called scientific spiritualism. Some moviegoers say the names, the dates, and locations have been changed, but the storyline seems very familiar. Alexander explains why.
Well, you know, people want to find out about things that they keep secrets about, and cults are very, very secretive. And this is all about cults. I was in one for 20 years, and so I'm kind of revealing my side of what the whole story's all about.
Alexander says he's proud of the turnout at the Clearwater Cafe Theater tonight and hopes to eventually market the movie nationwide. Meanwhile, officials from the Church of Scientology claim the film has nothing to do with them.
A new movie premiered tonight right here in the Bay Area. Now, there are no big stars, there are no local ties, there are some local ties and a controversial theme. And some people say The Prophet appears to be an expose of the Church of Scientology. Now, the film is the brainchild of a former VP of Universal Studios. Peter Alexander wrote and directed the film after leaving the Church of Scientology after 20 years. Now, it was shot in the Bay Area, and it's about half the cast is local. Well, tonight's premiere in Clearwater, the home of the Church of Scientology, played to a packed house.
Yeah, I think it has a few lessons to teach the people about how cults operate. Those who have been here over the last 26 years have seen the cult of Scientology really take over this community.
Scientology leaders have said little about the movie other than calling it a terrible film that's gotten terrible reviews.